All right, so we are diving into Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix this time.
Yeah,
And this one, I think a lot of people think it's a big commitment.
for
It's
sure.
the longest book in the series.
Yeah, it is.
So some people, might think, is
Right.
it a drag? Is this worth my time?
That's a great question.
Especially if you're an adult now and you're coming back to it.
Exactly. And that is what we are here to figure out. That is our deep dive today.
Awesome.
We have gone through a ton of reviews and analyses
Right.
all about this book, Order of the Phoenix,
Love it.
and really focusing on whether or not it holds up for adults.
Yeah, because I think a lot of us, we loved these books as kids.
Of course, yeah.
But now, as adults, it's like, well, I still feel the same way.
Yeah, do I want to revisit this?
Yeah. So should even bother.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Okay.
Almost every review that we read,
Mhm.
the people said they enjoyed it more as adults.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's definitely darker and more complex than the earlier books,
Sure.
but that seems to be a good thing for seasoned readers.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's promising.
Yeah.
I'm still a little intimidated by the length, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, did the reviewers find it slow or boring at points?
You know what they didn't really?
Okay.
And one of them actually specifically said that the pacing was really good,
Okay.
given how many new characters and plot lines are introduced. So it's not just filler.
Right.
Rowling really uses the space to build out the world and create this tension.
So it's not just like a bunch of pointless Quidditch matches
No,
and ships to Hogsmeade?
no, not at all.
Okay.
This is where the political side of the wizarding world really takes center stage.
Okay.
You get thrown into the Ministry of Magic and their attempts to discredit Dumbledore
Interesting.
and control Hogwarts.
Right.
It adds a whole other layer that you don't really get in the earlier books.
See, that's what I remember thinking as a kid. Like, all this Ministry of Magic stuff,
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on?
Right.
It's so confusing.
It's a lot.
But maybe now with a little bit more life experience.
Exactly. And the writing gets really clever here.
Okay.
Because she starts to blur the lines between good and evil. Like you have Cornelius Fudge.
Right.
Not necessarily a bad guy,
Right.
but he's blinded by fear and power.
Yeah.
And then there's Umbridge.
Yeah, don't even get me started on Umbridge.
I know.
The reviewers did not like her.
A did not.
What is it about her that everyone hates so much?
I know.
Is she worse than Voldemort?
Well, Voldemort is just pure
Yeah.
evil, like almost cartoonish.
Right.
But Umbridge,
Yeah.
she's terrifying because she feels real. She's like that petty, bureaucratic evil we've all encountered in our lives.
Yeah.
It's that feeling of being totally powerless against someone with all the authority.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Oh, it gives me chills just thinking about her.
Yeah.
But honestly, that sounds fascinating as a character study.
It is.
It's not just good versus evil,
Yeah.
More nuanced than that.
It's more complicated. And that's what makes it so gripping.
Okay. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Right.
I'm starting to come around on this whole Order of the Phoenix thing.
Good. I'm glad. All right. It's not just villains, though, that are more complex in this book. Harry himself.
Yeah.
He's going through a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Grief, PTSD, this constant pressure of being the chosen one.
Yeah. And I feel like in this book in particular,
Yes.
his anger is so much more justified.
Yes.
He sees Cedric die.
Oh, my God.
No one believes him about Voldemort.
Right.
And then he's stuck with the Dursleys.
Next summer.
All summer long.
Yeah.
With no contact from the wizarding world.
Exact. It's like you forget all that when you're a kid.
Right,
And as an adult, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, my God.
Yeah. You realize how much trauma he's carried.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the ministry is trying to discredit him.
Ugh, it's like adding insult to injury.
I know. Awful.
So it makes sense
Yeah.
that he's a little rebellious
Totally.
and that he forms Dumbledore's army.
Right.
Yeah.
As speaking of Dumbledore's army,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things that really shines in this book.
Yeah.
You see Harry stepping into this leadership role.
Yeah.
He's teaching his peers defensive magic because no one else will.
Okay, so we've got political intrigue,
Mm.
complex characters.
Yes.
But is there anything fun in this book?
Yes.
Like, as a kid, I loved the Weasley twins pranks.
Of course.
And the introduction of, like, quirky characters like Luna Lovegood.
Yes.
Do those elements still hold up?
Yes, absolutely. One reviewer actually specifically mentioned how much they enjoyed the Weasley twins rebelling against Umbridge.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's hilarious.
It's so satisfying when they, like, challenge her authority. I know. Even if it gets them in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that little bit of lightheartedness that you need in the midst of all the darkness.
Yeah.
What about Luna?
Luna.
It's always been a fan favorite.
Oh, for good reason.
Yeah.
Her unique perspective
Yeah.
and her unwavering belief in the unseen
Right. Yeah.
adds this touch of whimsy
Yeah.
and reminds us that there's always more to the world than meets the eye.
It's true.
And it's interesting to see how she becomes such a source of support for Harry, someone who truly understands what it feels like to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me think of books like A Wrinkle in Time
Oh, yeah.
or The Chronicles of Narnia,
Totally.
where you have these young characters
Yeah.
that see the world differently.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, they kind of challenge the status quo.
Yeah, it's like a classic trope in fantasy, and
Yeah.
Rowling does such a good job with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm starting to see.
Okay, good.
So many of these reviewers love this book.
Yes.
But let's talk about the actual writing.
Okay.
I remember some parts feeling really dense
Oh, sure.
when I read it as a kid.
Yeah.
Did the reviewers mention anything about Rowling's writing style?
They did. Several of them praised her ability to balance like complex themes
Mm-hmm.
with an engaging writing style.
Okay.
So like even though it's long, it's still really readable.
Okay.
She's great at creating vivid imagery
Mhm.
and building suspense
Yeah.
without getting bogged down in like overly descriptive prose.
Yeah, so like she found that sweet spot
Yes.
between being immersive
Yeah.
but still keeping the pages turning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how does Order of the Phoenix fit into the overall series?
Yeah, it's essential reading.
Absolutely. This is like the bridge
Okay.
between the lighter tone of the earlier books
Okay.
and the darker, more intense themes of the last two.
Okay.
It's where everything shifts
Mm.
and the stakes become undeniably real.
You know, it makes me think about some of my other favorite fantasy series,
Yeah.
like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones.
Hold on,
Like,
okay.
there's always that one book
Yeah.
where things take a dark turn
Yes.
and the characters face a major turning point.
100%.
This feels like that.
It is.
Very
It
close.
is. You see all the characters grappling with lost betrayal,
Yeah.
realizing that they're not invincible. It raises the stakes.
Yeah, for the rest of the series.
For sure.
So to sum up what we've talked about so far,
Mm-hmm.
Order of the Phoenix
Yes.
offers a more nuanced
Yeah.
and mature
Yes.
exploration of the wizarding world.
I agree.
We got political intrigue,
Mm-hmm.
morally ambiguous characters,
Yep.
and our beloved hero facing real trauma.
He is
But the big question remains,
that.
is it actually worth the time?
Yeah.
You know, because let's be real, we're all busy adults,
Right.
we have limited reading time.
Exactly.
So is this something we should prioritize?
I think that is the million galleon question.
Mhm.
And honestly, based on all the reviews, I think they would overwhelmingly say yes.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Okay, so think about it this way. You've grown up alongside Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
Yeah,
You've experienced the magic of Hogwarts, the
Mhm.
thrill of their early adventures.
right.
But now things are different.
Okay,
The world feels more dangerous, the stakes are higher,
yeah.
and they're facing challenges that hit a little too close to home.
It's not all whimsical anymore. You know?
Exactly.
Feels like the series is growing up,
It is.
just like we are.
It is, and that's what makes it so compelling for adult readers.
Okay.
You're not just revisiting your childhood.
Right,
You're experiencing this story through like a new lens
right.
with a deeper understanding of how complicated the world is and
Ah.
all their struggles.
It's like we're watching a coming-of-age story.
Yes,
Not just for Harry,
right.
but for the whole wizarding world.
100%. And for you as a reader,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, remember when Harry felt so isolated and misunderstood?
Yeah.
Even angry?
Mm-hmm.
As an adult, you might connect to those emotions differently. You might recognize that frustration of dealing with bureaucracy,
Yes.
the pain of loss, the fear of the unknown.
It's not just escapism anymore.
No.
It's a story that like speaks to our own experiences.
Exactly. It is. And
So-
yet, amidst all that darkness,
Yeah.
there's still that wonder,
Okay.
that belief in the power of friendship and love
Yeah.
that drew us to the series to begin with.
So it's not all doom and gloom. There's still that spark of magic
There is.
that makes Harry Potter so special.
Absolutely. Think about the moments that stayed with you from this book.
Okay.
The formation of Dumbledore's army, Harry stepping up as a leader, Luna's unwavering optimism,
Yeah.
her unique perspective,
Yeah.
the Weasley twins' defiant pranks against Umbridge.
Yes.
Like, those moments remind us, even in the darkest times,
Yeah.
there's always hope, there's always something to fight for.
I'm starting to get that feeling of excitement again
Oh, good.
that I had when I first discovered these books.
I love that. And
Yeah.
that's the magic of revisiting Order of the Phoenix as an adult.
Okay.
You're not just reading the same story, you're experiencing it in a new way.
Okay.
It's a fresh perspective and a deeper appreciation for all the complexities.
Yeah.
It's a journey worth taking,
Even if it's a long one.
even if it's long.
Okay, so to wrap things up,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you want to leave our listeners with?
Okay, so here's what I'll say.
Okay. Okay.
If you're looking for like a light, fluffy escape,
Yep.
this might not be the book for you.
Okay.
But if you're ready for a story that challenges you,
Yeah.
that makes you think, that makes you feel, then dive back into Order of the Phoenix.
All right.
You might be surprised by what you discover, not just about the wizarding world, but about yourself.
I love it.
Yeah.